everybody, this is GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us as always is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, though it looks very different today. We have Brandon Jones, of course.
I'm still knowledgeable.
Ben Moore.
I'm super excited to be here.
And Ian Hink.
Party panel.
Party panel. So, we're missing Michael Damiani, we're missing Daniel Bloodworth for very different reasons. How are you two doing?
Us?
Yeah.
Pretty good. I feel happy.
What do you feel happy about?
I have no idea.
Let's hope it lasts.
I'm actually a little bit bitter right now.
What's that?
I had the worst loss in Hearthstone I think I've ever had last night, and I'm still reeling from that.
Explain how that can feel. Explain to a layman what happened last night.
So I'm somebody that really likes the game,
Yeah.
right? I espouse its virtues, and last night I was cursing at the game saying, this is all random bullshit. I couldn't control my loss. You know, I felt like it was out of my hands.
But in the game, what happened?
In the game, so basically, I'm not going to explain like all of the cards and all the things that went into it, but he was out of cards.
Yeah.
There was exactly one card he could have drawn. Out of 15, he had 15 cards left that would have won him the game. Otherwise, I won next turn. That 1 in 15 chance, he got it.
That's why we play the game.
I
That's
know.
why we play the game.
I know.
Sometimes you get a good draw, baby.
I know, but I was so mad because it was the best deck I'd ever had in Arena. I was gonna go 12 wins, I could feel it, and just crushed. Sometimes
this
that
11?
game crushes your soul.
If in an arena
Sometimes.
run, I could see, yeah, that'd be. I've been playing Talos Principle, and that's got me feeling good.
And that's what's making you happy. Brandon,
I don't know if that makes me happy.
are you happy or bummed today? Where do you fit on this scale?
I'm okay. I wish Far Cry 4 was done. I wish I had finished that review, but I've had to do other like boring editor-in-chief stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that review to be done. And that is every match I play in Hearthstone is that.
Why is that?
At least every match against a mage where it's just like, I'm gonna try this. The mage is like, nope. I'm like, okay, I'll put this guy just like dead. I'm like, thanks, mage. I win.
You're wearing a Blizzard.
Yay,
hoodie.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, I mean,
Kyle, I want to officially apologize for bringing Hearthstone into GT Time.
no, it's fine. I bring in Pokemon every week. So we gotta mix that up.
Right.
We gotta get something Brandon can talk about for once that he likes, a game he likes.
Yeah, Hearthstone's great.
Except when it's
I'm
not.
surprised that doesn't happen to you more often.
Because he's prepared. He's more skilled. He's not used to like that kind of blowout.
But no matter what you do in any card game, no matter how you design it, you're gonna get schooled.
Even
at
poker.
some point,
yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
Kyle, I made a fatal error. I turned a switch on in my brain because before I felt like I was getting pretty good at Hearthstone, but I was still just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, no. Now I'm gonna get to Legend. Now I'm gonna get 12 wins in Arena. And ever since I started taking it seriously, I've been very angry all the time.
Yeah. That
You
is a
have been
fatal
kinda
error.
salty the last
Yeah, I've
couple
been a
of
little
weeks.
salty, and I think it's because of the stupid card game.
I forgive you.
Yeah.
Yay, games!
But when he gets good, this is when it's gonna really turn things
Yeah.
around.
But what if that never happens?
I don't know. I believe in
Prepare
you.
your mind
Thank you,
for that
Kyle.
possibility.
Before we get to business, we got some corrections and clarifications. Sorry, what were you?
I was just saying we had the two opposite reactions to him saying, what if it never happens? You say, I believe in you, and I say, prepare your mind for that possibility.
That's why we're on the opposite ends of the couch. This is how this works.
Don't always agree.
Yeah. Begin corrections music. PlayStation Vue has live TV. That's the big difference. Isn't that cool? You can watch live sports on PlayStation Vue. That's the huge differentiator.
cool.
Are there live like TBS or whatever, like the stations that are on it, are those live too?
Yeah, like ABC, I think was not on board. So like Fox, you can watch live Fox with PlayStation Vue if you're paying for that. So that's pretty cool. BlizzCon opening ceremony was a live free stream. For the opening ceremony, you could get that for free. Did not know that. Also, Library of Congress is preserving virtual worlds. Someone sent me an article as Ochi. But I looked at it, and I saw the virtual worlds they're most concerned about is Second Life, and they're like, oh, we have to save this little Second Life thing, and then I stopped reading the article. That's bias on my part, but end corrections music. Second Life is just what a little garbage
tried.
place.
Well,
Yeah.
I just devil's advocate.
Okay.
I get that because if you are a user who has gone, it's kind of like Infinity. Like if you're a user who's gone in and built your own stuff, like that may not be the Second Life company might not think it's important to like save any of that stuff because it's like that's not stuff we made, that's stuff you made. We already have our own assets. However, you combined them to create your own little world that you created. We don't care. You know, it's like if that lasts forever. Whereas, the people that are organizing that might be thinking like, I imagine Bungie and 343 are going to like preserve Blood Gulch. Like they'll have it, like it's not going to go anywhere. So we kind of have to step in for the users because Second Life is more of a user created experience.
So how are they going to back
and
up
save their
everyone's
stuff?
Minecraft?
But it's also just like,
Right.
look at this stupid little drawing a middle schooler made that we preserved. It's like, yeah, good job saving that, but it's still Second Life. It's still this gross little weird stupid place.
Second Life is something I have to be constantly reminded of.
Do you know what it is?
Second Life has never just popped into my head because of my own thinking.
Second Life is not bad. My emotions toward it are because when I was in college, I had so many professors who believed Second Life is the future that I'm so burnt on it that I just...
That's the thing,
you were wrong.
Second Life-
Professors, you were all wrong.
Second Life could have been. I went into Second Life a couple of times like, this could be it. This could be the virtual... I could be who I want to be in this world and exist as I want to exist. Except the mechanics are really confusing and it's really terrible and really bad and really...
I think Second Life is about as interesting as PlayStation Home.
Yeah.
But do you think I've always thought Second Life is stupid, and I get that you've believed that as well, but do you think it's important to save sort of like the building blocks regardless of how bad they are, right? Maybe someday we'll get something that is what Second Life wants to be, and we'll look back in Second Life and
When
maybe
we're
this
all
is
on
a
the internet.
Yeah, maybe this is a point of origin. I don't know.
Of the singularity.
It's the
Yeah.
primordial ooze of the strange days future where we all just plug in and disappear.
Yeah, I guess in that case, it's good we're
Can't wait.
Keep it at it, Library of Congress. All right, so let's talk about news. Let's get to our news this week. The Xbox One has sold 1 million units in the UK.
Good job. Good. Talk about middle school drawing. Like, way to go, guys. Way to get there with the big boys.
PlayStation 4 got there in September. Like, they're not that far behind, basically.
September's a pro month, though, you know?
So yeah, this was published by MCV, and basically we've learned that apparently the Xbox One in the UK has been outselling the PS4 for 3 weeks in a row. Why? Do we think it's because of Halo? Do we think it's because of the price cut wasn't sudden for them? It's not like this little $50 for Thanksgiving and holiday thing. Like, why? Why is it suddenly doing okay?
Price cuts, Sunset Overdrive, Halo.
Do we all agree with that? Do you think Sunset Overdrive is selling consoles?
Yeah, in a weird way, because it's bundled with the Xbox One. I think if Sunset Overdrive wasn't part of the bundle, maybe because it's a new IP, it wouldn't be a console seller, but a game that is reviewed really well, bundled with the console at a price cut, I think that's pretty obvious for a lot of people.
I think Evolve might weirdly have something to do with it, too. I think Evolve is perceived as a very, like, multiplayer focused kind of game, and like Xbox has always kind of had that on lock, and now we're getting into like the heavy sales like discount period, maybe people are thinking like, oh yeah, I gotta get my Evolve machine. I don't know, this is speculation at this point.
That's a weird speculation.
Yeah,
I feel like no one knows what Evolve is right now.
Maybe, I don't know.
I
played it, I didn't get into it, but
I feel like the perception of the Xbox One has shifted so dramatically in the last few months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it kind of started with Sunset Overdrive, and then you had Halo Master Chief Collection, and then earlier you had Forza Horizon 2. You're getting sort of these big profile games that are getting a certain amount of critical acclaim, and I feel like PlayStation 4 right now just doesn't have that. Like, it doesn't have the big exclusives for Christmas, and this is the time, like right now we're in it where people are buying consoles. So
Prime time, as Xbox likes to call it. I think it was Greenberg who said that. So yeah, Brandon, can we talk about that momentum change? Can we talk about where Xbox was a year ago to where it is now? Maybe E3 2013 compared to E3 2014, the two different Xboxes. Do you feel like it's a definite change?
What do you mean by like what they cost, or like what do you mean two different Xboxes? Just
how we all feel about it. You know what I mean? Don Matrick versus Phil Spencer.
Right.
That was like they're only a year apart, and like this is where we are.
You know how I feel about the Xbox. I don't know. I can't. It's really hard for me. I am not Michael Pachter. Like, I can't predict like why. I think maybe Advanced Warfare.
Like in Heat.
I mean, like when I went to the review event, we played that on Xbox, And like I actually have played more games when I've gone to play them, and publishers were like, here's the console. Like, it's been Xbox a lot of the time. And so I don't know if that's something, I don't know if that's a shift. I don't know if that's something that maybe going into this generation, because a lot of the games I've been playing started development 2-3 years ago. Like maybe they started development with Microsoft, and so maybe we're getting a lot of these games that like have been designed on Xbox this whole time, or have been designed with Xbox in mind. A lot of my friends, like all my friends played Destiny on Xbox. I didn't get to play with them. So like, maybe like you were saying, like it's just that holiday sale. And I think a lot of people, what you have to count on is, we have to consider is that my first impulse is to buy that first console that I bought in the next gen. Like it's going to take it's going to take an exclusive or something like that for me to consider another console. Whereas like if I played shooters all the time on 360, I'm probably going to play shooters on Xbox One if I'm just someone who just plays Call of Duty or just plays, Bungie or 343 games.
Yeah, Ben, you brought up an interesting point. Is that like it's a good bundle game, Sunset Overdrive. There's no Halo bundle.
It's a good Xbox game too. It really fits
Yeah.
their attitude. They're just kind of party vibe.
Party vibe? No, I want to hear about this. Xbox has the party vibe?
I think Xbox is always. I mean, it's called the Xbox. It's like I think they.
No, that's not party at all. That's the opposite of a party.
I really love that
No, I mean
Yeah.
like we're cool. We're in college. We're hip. Come party at our place. What's the Kinect? You know what I mean? That was like the whole idea was that like the party at home and it's all in one entertainment console, so it's just like everyone in the house can do different things all at the same time. Like I think they try to be a lot edgier, and I think Sony tries to be just generally more professional. Like Sony's more of a suit and tie kind of thing, and
Sony's
Xbox is more like
is
skateboarders
classy.
and spray paint and.
This is what I get really into, because there's nothing inherently party about the word Xbox. In fact, I think it's a very nerdy word. But like all these things like lead to your association with that brand. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, think about PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. It's like constantly trying to like re-image yourself, and
also
they
I
kind of
think-
have like a identity
I think
crisis sometimes.
Xbox's history with multiplayer games, like, because Xbox happened in college, and like we were playing Halo. Like I didn't have an Xbox, but I played Halo multiplayer all the time with friends in college. It was like you got together and you did that until GarageBand or Guitar Hero came out, and then you had something to do on your PlayStation with your friends.
I think it's fair to say that the Xbox identity was Halo for a shockingly pretty
Halo,
long time.
the Xbox was Halo. It was a Halo machine, and I don't know if they've ever. This is big, but I don't know if they've ever really gotten out of that in the gaming space. It's still kind of been the Halo Call of Duty machine, and then PlayStation is a little broader, maybe. I don't know.
I'd say they're definitely trying not to. I think when they unveiled the Xbox One,
Well, yeah.
they didn't even have like Halo to show.
Which was a mistake.
Yeah, because they showed Kinect, and yeah, exactly, yeah, and they showed TV, and you're right. Maybe
Everything that everyone said they should have done originally is they finally have done. And also that's the thing is like they've done all the things. Like something you said is like everyone who's serious about video games already bought a PS4. Now the Xbox One is cheaper, and you don't have to get the stupid Kinect with it because they've made the choices that we thought they should have made originally. So now the Xbox One is not ridiculous, so you can actually seriously purchase it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like now there are bundled games and it's cheaper, so it's like you actually get a value in buying an Xbox One instead of just a soccer mom TV machine with a Kinect that you don't want, that you have to buy. Like they've done a lot of goodwill moves where they've fixed their image too. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
I don't have any hard evidence for this, but just the switch to Phil Spencer being sort of the head, I think has had a dramatic impact because so many things that they're doing make sense. Like, what do we need to do to get Xbox Ones into people's hands and compete with the PlayStation 4? We cut the price, we get a game that we know is good with the bundle. And even other things like Games for Gold and just the sort of the statements like, well, if you can't afford an Xbox One, buy a 360. Like, that's not happening anymore. I feel like just the messaging and the brand doesn't have this arrogance associated with this. It doesn't have that sort of tone deafness associated with it. It's like they're being very shrewd and they're trying super hard to figure out what people want and then doing it.
Has Games for Gold gotten better? Because I remember when it launched, they were like, you can get these games. I'm like, those are all years old.
I don't think it's ever been as excellent as PlayStation Plus is at its best,
Okay.
but it is getting better, I think, because like Volgar the Viking, right?
Yeah, I heard
it's
that
a
was
perfect
great.
games for gold.
What is that game? I haven't heard of it before.
Yeah, so I streamed it once. It's extremely brutally hard 2D.
Oh, the Adult
action.
Swim game.
Yeah,
Very cool.
It's a very fun game, but it's a game that were it not on Games for Gold, it might get ignored. It's smaller. It doesn't have that presence, but it's the perfect thing where you're like, oh, I have Games for Gold. I can get this cool thing. I'm gonna check it out, and then you end up really liking it. Like it's perfect for it. And I think that was a really smart decision. So.
Brandon, is there anything left? Is there anything where you could say, Microsoft, just do this? Is there anything left for them to like really improve upon?
No, I think they're finally they finally have stuff out. They finally, like, a lot of the things they were talking about for a long time are finally out and available, and you can buy them and you can access them. And I think for a long time, a lot of the issues that we had with Microsoft were their policy shifts and like removing the Kinect and all that stuff. And so I think they're past that phase now, and now there's a lot of things that you can that are tangible, that you can be excited about, that you can go to the store and buy. And so, yeah, I can't think of anything. I have no demands for either major
something
console creator.
Something you said earlier that I hadn't thought of too is because I was thinking like Xbox does seem to be in like a pretty good, like there are some cool games right now that are like good Christmas games that are pushing Xbox Ones, and there aren't any PS4 games. Like I can't think of a PS4 release that I'm excited for until February, unless Witness actually comes out this year, but it's not looking like it will. But like. Yeah, and like I wonder if that is just like, did the Xbox One get, like, did they plan it better? Did they get it in developers' hands a little earlier? Like, is the code easier or something? Because like it seems like, because like No Man's Sky, all these games, like we've been hearing about them for a long time, but they're not coming out when they probably would sell the most units.
And another funny thing about this prime time, about hey, we got to push holiday, is Xbox One after holiday is looking pretty bleak.
Yeah.
For months and months, there's no actual like, whoa, that's a huge game for Xbox. I mean, there's multiplats, there's Evolve and Witcher 3 also coming to Xbox.
Right.
But yeah, there's nothing that's just like, oh, they're gonna kill it going forward and going forward. And so maybe, I mean, the sales will push them through. Maybe once all the friends get Xbox Ones, it's like, oh, well, I got my buddies are Xbox One. I got
Well, and
my
then
buddies.
it'll be the year of the PlayStation too. Like they've got some killer exclusives coming next year.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's just we're in a thing where it's like a cycle now.
So I do want to
takes
talk about
turns.
PlayStation.
No, sure.
It's hard to talk about Xbox without talking about PlayStation.
Can I apologize for something really quick?
Always.
I don't know what's going on, but my stomach is growling like crazy. So if that gets picked
I
up,
didn't know if they were like moving
yeah,
furniture next
I
door or
can
something
see
like
like
that.
Ian looking at me, being like, "What is that?" And Brandon kind of looking at me like, "What is that?"
my stomach? I'm
Sorry, I show up on GT Tom.
We gotta
and
go
the
to
weird
Fat
guy.
Boy.
Have you
with
not
a
had
loud
breakfast
stomach.
yet?
No,
No
I never
breakfast.
eat breakfast.
Yeah,
Okay.
breakfast, dude.
If I'm ever on GT Time again, I will eat breakfast.
Most important meal.
I've had some really good gulps on GT Time in the past.
Oh yeah, we've all made gross noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Once
fine.
we moved the mics off people's throats, that was a good
No farts yet, though. I think we're fart free on GT Time so far.
challenge.
So
accepted.
far.
Knock on wood.
So the PlayStation 4 announced its Black Friday bundle. This bundle includes Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us Remastered. $400.
So you get the games for $100?
Yeah, you get 2 free games
Not with the system.
with the system.
Oh, with the system.
Yeah, $400.
That
Which is the normal price of the console.
400.
That is a really good deal. And I'm only speaking from personal experience, but if I had neither an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, I would do the Sunset Overdrive Xbox One bundle.
Why?
Even though I'm only getting 1 game instead of 2 games, because hypothetically, I have never played Sunset Overdrive. It is an Xbox One exclusive game that's super exciting to me. Whereas, no matter how good, and they are extremely, extremely good, GTA 5 and The Last of Us are old news. To me, it's just not as exciting.
What if you are a person who hasn't played any of these games? Like,
Right.
those 2 games are undeniably great
Well,
games.
and I think-
Absolutely.
think
Yeah.
that
Then I
this-
think you fall
This
into that.
speaks to, this is the divide right there, the games that are bundled with these systems. I don't know, is Halo bundled with an Xbox as well? Is there a Halo bundle
I
too?
think on Black Friday you'll be able to get it bundled.
Okay.
I'm not honestly
But I mean, like
sure.
Sunset Overdrive has a big multiplayer element as well, right? So like,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but nobody's
anyway,
playing.
It's
Let's be
more
honest.
like, yeah, but Sunset Overdrive, multiplayer or not, is this is gonna sound like I don't mean this to be like this is a childish game, but it's like very exciting and very colorful and like lots of explosions and stuff like
It's
that.
an adult game, I believe they said specifically.
But like
A
it's
They
mature
really
shooter.
wanted to stress that.
yeah,
We're,
but
we're an
it's
adult.
still
shit
it's
out
not
here.
an art game. It's a
Right.
ridiculous, ludicrous party game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so many
then-
words are getting thrown around.
No, I know. But then the PS4 gives you two games that are effectively more so The Last of Us than GTA. But I think the storyline of GTA, they're effectively TV like HBO TV series, like art series. Not so much GTA, but like I think that's the divide between these systems. It's ironic that I hate both of those PlayStation games, but they're more my kind of game than Sunset Overdrive.
But, and maybe this is not a fair point to say, both GTA 5 and Last of Us were absolute blockbusters on
Yeah.
last generation.
Yeah.
So
That's their old hat, yeah.
there are going to be a significant number of people that pick up the PlayStation 4 because they haven't played GTA 5 or The Last of Us, I think. But at the same time, I also believe that we're still in that early adopter phase. We're still in that phase where the people picking up PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones are pretty hardcore gamers, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough to convince people that are still using their Xbox 360s and PlayStation 3s that primarily use it for things like Netflix and maybe like Madden or Call of Duty every
But
year. I
here's-
don't think
here's-
we're at the point where they're getting.
Here's my
new systems.
question. Will we ever get to the point where the casuals, the non-hardcore gamers, would buy a PS4? There's no reason.
It's so interesting how
Or
the
Xbox One.
word casual's been morphed now.
Right.
Like you say it, and it's like you're saying like some horrible.
I don't mean it like that. Like,
No, I
'cause-
know. It's just in my mind.
No,
That's-
but to
that's
me,
how
like,
people
to
say
me,
it.
like, you use the word hardcore, so the opposite
Right.
of that is casual.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
my fault.
But the person using their Xbox 360 or their PS3 for Netflix, for Hulu, for Amazon Prime, whatever, and like, yeah, occasionally, okay, they'll play a game, whatever. Like, that person, I don't know if they're ever going to have a reason to get a PS4 or an Xbox One because
Here's
they're
what
both
happens.
HD.
It's E3.
There was no jump.
It's E3 this year, or 2015. E3 2015.
There's an E3 this year?
E3
Yeah, I was like, oh
2015.
god.
Sony's press conference. They say it wasn't cheap, but we bought Crash Bandicoot. Here's Crash Bandicoot. Like that would take it. That would be like, oh, I get that for my little son or daughter. I love
Nostalgia,
Crash Bandicoot.
too.
Yeah. I mean,
made by
like,
Ninja Theory.
yeah.
They should get Naughty Dog back. What if Naughty Dog made Crash Bandicoot again?
Now it'd be so good.
And but it's like they give it the Christopher Nolan treatment. It's like all dark.
Yeah.
And Bandicoot's like he's like fighting alcoholism.
Shadow Bandicoot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just like it's like there's no gameplay.
There's
It's just
no
like,
neocortex. It is
Yeah.
just let's explore Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board.
That'd be
I think I would.
hilarious.
I
Yeah.
think
Kind
that'd be
of
it.
incredible.
I'd quit video games.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Why would that make you quit video games?
I don't want to live in a world where there needs to be a dark Crash Bandicoot. That's not the kind of world I want to be in.
That's what the world we live in right now. There is
Maybe
no
that's
Crash
true.
Bandicoot.
Maybe that's
Thank
true. Maybe I should
Christopher
leave right
Nolan,
now.
Yeah. So we're willing to call. We're calling it right now that Xbox One wins November. Is that what we're saying?
They'll win the whole holiday season.
They're winning prime time. Are we calling it? GT Time calls it.
I mean, I think it's gonna be, like that's the thing. They've got Halo Master Chief, which is also a lot of old stuff,
But not
and
working
Sunset
perfectly.
Overdrive.
Apparently they're patching
Right.
it today, but
and a bunch of multi-platform games. So like, it'll be close. I think it'll probably be one way or the other.
I think Xbox One's going to put up a fight, but PS4 wins.
I wasn't
Yeah.
being fair
be
before,
good.
by the way. Sunset Overdrive does have online. It's like co-op, right? It's like a co-op mode, like a horde mode kind
Yes.
of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought
Yes.
it had multiplayer too, like versus, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, it doesn't have
Oh, okay.
PvP.
Oh, okay.
PvP.
So you can go ahead and delete that correction.
Is it too much to look into it where you have the PlayStation 4 bundle? Are these two remastered? Like this is the definitive way to play this game. If you
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
played Last of Us,
Yeah.
you should play it on PlayStation 4. If you haven't played GTA 5, you should play it. Remember GTA 3 on PS2 with that awesome controller? Like, come on, play GTA 5 on your PlayStation 4. Some people are doing graphic comparisons and seeing the PS4 is kind of edging out Xbox One as far
Has
as
more
like
grass.
performance of GTA 5.
Got a lot more grass in GTA 5.
Yeah. And so it's interesting to kind of look at the PlayStation 4 as like it's the definitive way to play all your multi-platform games. You know?
Brandon,
'Cause
again,
it's like,
this is-
got all these updates. Then you have the Xbox, which just has the one game in the bundle, but it's like this is this new thing. This is this new exciting thing you can only get. It's like, you know, they're trying to capture that Halo magic way back with the original Xbox.
It's
So I wonder if,
flashy.
I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but it's an interesting parallel between like these two remastered games and this brand new IP.
Should also be mentioned, Xbox One way cheaper. What I still love, Brandon, is these two voices that you've given the consoles. With the PlayStation 4, you kind of like, you have to get the. It's really funny, you know how the personas we give consoles is very interesting.
The
Brandon-
Xbox is the flashy sports car that you are really excited about for 5 months, and then you crash into an embankment.
Right.
And then the PS4,
Midlife crisis console.
is the midlife crisis console, or the I'm in college and my dad has too much money console. But the PS4 is the classy, like, thoughtful, lasting, you know.
It's a Lincoln.
Yeah. The Xbox One is the trophy spouse, and the PS4 is an actual meaningful relationship.
We can't go anywhere from there. We're gonna end that.
Yeah, I
done.
mean, if we just want to let that lie, if we want that
Yeah.
to be the final word, I'm
Lock it
willing to
in.
let it be the. G4 is finally going off air, November 20th, just done off. Like, what's weird is everyone I think left over a year ago at this point, right? And they've been showing reruns of X-Play and Cops. It's been like this weird zombie channel. Finally gone.
I thought it was gone years ago.
It was,
yeah.
and then they just like kept airing it. They just like a weird little zombie. This is why cable's effed up. This is why PlayStation Vue is gonna win. But like, because people are paying for that channel. It's not. Oh, it makes me so angry.
Because it's bundled in, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't a la carte.
They won't
cable,
let us.
and
The
it
cable
keeps
companies won't let us
zombies
a la
alive.
carte.
They're going to. It's gonna happen.
Do you believe
Eventually.
that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
have to eventually.
Yeah.
You can't compete with the internet.
Yeah.
Just like
I want
magazines.
TV to
Magazines
die.
really wanted to be around forever, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
They'll
it's
have to
slowly but
adapt.
surely.
Cable's gonna go a la carte. Newspapers will be outlawed. This is over a wide time span.
So no, I mean this works in conjunction with this conversation. Will video games ever go back to TV? Will they ever be on TV again in the U.S.? I should say.
No.
No.
Wow.
Because like, there's that Canadian show, Electric Playground, still going.
Yeah.
Why does it work in Canada and not in the U.S.?
Don't bring up Canada. Don't bring Canada into this. That's a whole separate thing. Because they can get enough advertising money. I mean, he's got to make money. You know, Vic's got to make money somehow.
Yeah. You call him Vic? Are you on that kind of
Oh, yeah,
relationship?
me, yeah,
Man,
me and Vic.
cool. All right.
I actually met him for the first time at Comic-Con this year. I went over and said hello. When I started Game Trailers, I was watching your silly show. I was watching you and Talrico covering Tron
Did you
2.
use the word
Did
silly?
you say your silly show?
Yeah, did you say silly show?
I was watching your little show.
Hey Vic, what's up, man? Silly show.
I sometimes use the word silly when I probably shouldn't. But
Yeah.
there are parts of Electric Playground that are silly.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he will-
yeah.
I
I'm
think
sure he
will
wouldn't
own to
even be
that.
offended. He wouldn't even
when
be
they
offended.
interviewed the developer of Tron 2.0, they were riding light cycles. They're actually like in the game, and Talrico was like, "So tell me about the graphic." You know, it's like that's how they chose to cover that.
Yeah. That's silly. That's downright silly.
Everybody's got their own thing. Everybody's got their own brand. It's so tough to like. That's why I'm just like got my hooks in all of you guys. Like, don't go anywhere. You're all GT now, you know. But like, you could tomorrow just be like, I'm Kyle Bossman. I don't need any of you fools. I'm gonna go make the Kyle Bossman channel.
Just so you know, I couldn't do that, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
You know, but like, what if you could? What if all of a sudden tomorrow, like, oh crap, like I don't want you to succeed, Kyle.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
your
I get that.
success is bad for us.
Thanks, boss.
Because then
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, I don't need, I can make my own website, I'll make my own thing. And you can do that, and that's great. I mean, that's what our
We're all
country's
gonna
built
go work
on.
for Shane.
But we'll see.
This is the
You
most
never know.
depressing conversation I've ever been a part of.
It's only depressing if you think about having a gaming network, which I would love. I'm sad that you guys came up with your no answers so quickly, because like I would love to. When GT was started, I would go home, and when I wasn't playing Final Fantasy XI, I would pop on my laptop and do updates to the site, and I would put G4 on in the background. And it wasn't something where like I tuned in. It's not like the entertainment we get now, where it's like I'm going straight to Game of Thrones, I'm going straight to
Yeah.
House of Cards, and I'm just going to get that, and then I'm done. It was like I just want somebody to talk about games in the background. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that's actually the way I hope. Somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, I heard the latest GT time or something," and it was like, "Oh, it's cool. You just listen to it." And he's like, "Oh no, I watch it too." Like he felt bad. And I'm like, "No, that's great actually. Like
Yeah.
that's the way I hope. Like when we had
There's no
GT
reason to
on,
use
like
your
I want to
eyes
bring
for
that
this show.
back. I want to bring back some kind of
Well,
GT element where you can just
well.
click and it just goes forever."
So you think if a gaming network exists, it's not on TV, but it is online. It's like a streaming service.
I guess the point I was getting at is that you need to combine as many personalities as necessary to warrant the advertising dollars to support it.
I get that.
And you'll never get that many people to want to all work together.
I feel like there were two needs that G4 served that are no longer relevant, sadly. The one was sort of speed. I remember I would tune into XPlay, and I would get 3 reviews in the span of 10 minutes. I was like, okay, I have a general idea about how these GameCube games are. But now, on my phone, when I'm waiting in line at Subway, I can just go to a site and be like, okay, I got it. Like, the advancement of technology has kind of made that irrelevant. The other thing is, TV doesn't have any cultural importance anymore. Like, I remember when I was a kid and my parents would be flipping through the channels at dinner. I would be like, "Oh my God, video games are on TV. This means something.
Yeah.
This is a big deal to me.
legitimizes us.
This couldn't happen, 10 years ago outside of weird like ABC coverage where they're like, the Nintendo is taking over kids' lives.
Or violence in video games.
Right.
I get that,
And-
it's not as such a big deal to get on TV these days.
Right, because less and less people aren't watching TV. That sentence didn't make sense, but I think you get what I'm saying.
Did you ever see that show Dads on Fox?
I saw the
Did
billboard.
you?
Yeah. So Dads,
Why?
the 2 guys, they're video game designers.
Oh, okay, this
Really?
actually sounds awesome, yeah.
No, it's super dumb. It was the
Okay.
dumbest thing. They're just like, hey, Dad, we're in the VO booth. Hey, son, let me do a voice of a character. Oh, God, let's see how this turns out. It's like, they just had no idea how game design works, you know what I mean? From like we're TV people, it's probably like this perspective.
It's like how Big Bang Theory has nerds.
Yeah. Dads, goodbye, good riddance, dads. But yeah, that kind of thing where just like, oh man, isn't there another show about game designers now? I don't know. I think it's just like a cute little idea now.
The thing to me is like TV of that nature. Like we've entered into we're in a weird zone where like TV is being taken as seriously as film in a lot of ways, and then like there are 2 kinds of TV.
Oh yeah, TV is
There's
the
reality.
good TV.
Yeah, there's reality and news and all the garbage, and then there's Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Hannibal,
Mad Men.
art shows.
Yeah.
And we're also in there's another really cool thing with Twitch and sites like ours and all these Kotaku, Polygon, YouTube, where we're in an age where views can be more personal. They don't have to be regulated. I can say fuck if I want to and no one's gonna stop me. And
I tried.
it's too late. And anyone can do it. Anyone can go on Twitch or YouTube and make a show about video games and get 30 views or get 30,000 views. And there's a power in that, and there's also a deregulation and a power to the people sort of a thing about it where it's you can get your information from the person you want to get it from. You don't have to do what some corporate suit decided was a good TV show, And I think it's spread it out enough that no G4 is going to make enough money to run,
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's you're right. It's hard for any cable network right now.
And also speed and availability. The only time I ever watched XPlay was when I remembered to DVR it, and then I could watch it and skip the commercials and do that. And then once I stopped having cable, that went away, and I didn't, I wasn't sad about that. And I think also we're entering into an age where video news shows something like this, I think GT Time is different because I said that weird. GT Time is different because it's personality driven. It's like a podcast, so that I think still has a place. But if it's just here's a 5-minute video spitting news at you,
Yeah,
I'm
the Xbox One is sold one.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm that should be a sentence on a phone.
yeah.
And
I
I
get
should
that.
never, I should never have to sit through this because why would I?
Absolutely.
There's also a supreme irony with video game content on television because it's I'd rather be playing video
this
games.
game, yeah.
It's because the whole TV experience. Right now we get media. Who knows? You could download stuff and have it on your iPad, your laptop. It's there's no real one right way to do any kind of media. There's a right way to make money doing it. But,
Yeah.
and if the whole TV community is built around going home, sitting on my couch, and watching television, and like hopefully, like if I not worked for Game Trailers and there was a show like GT Time, I would watch that when I had to like work or when I was like on the bus or like
Right.
commuting or something. I would just like put in headphones and like listen to the podcast. But like if I'm getting home, like I'm gonna play games. So like if I'm not gonna like go home and turn on my television but reality TV, like some of my favorite stuff of the crap version of like television or like home improvement shows, because like it makes me feel great because I don't have to build a house, like I don't
Right.
have to work as hard as you're working.
Yeah.
And like, oh, your living room looks great, awesome. It's like that's something that's so distant from where I am right now and like the experience
really
that I'm having.
interesting point.
Whereas
Yeah.
like when I get home, it's like I don't want to watch someone else talk about games. Like
TV is about vicarious enjoyment, whereas in video games are about actual enjoyment.
yeah.
I can buy that. Similarly, it's why MTV can't just air music videos. It's like that can't
Right.
work anymore. You can't
Right.
just choose the music videos for us.
Although I feel like the rise of Twitch sort of contradicts that in some way. Like,
Oh, that we all sit by and watch other people play? Yeah.
right, there are every single day hundreds of thousands of people watching other people play games.
And I think it's
That's
more
personality.
I think it's personalities. I think that's why
But
people
it's also
watch those.
skill, right?
Yeah.
There are people that I
True,
watch
true.
play League of Legends or Dota.
When we watched that speed run of Super Metroid, that was like the most. I had the most fun watching that of anything on TV I can remember.
Absolutely,
tricks.
and
I mean, it was on the
think
internet, but like, yeah.
when you watch GT time, like, oh, these are just some schmucks spouting off. But
Absolutely.
like when I
You should think that.
when I go and I watch Twitch, I'm like, this person is enjoying this game in a way that I never will be able to. So I'm getting something unique out of that.
Yeah.
Or has insight, yeah.
I feel so bad when I streamed Far Cry 4 the other day, and somebody was like, I was gonna play Dragon Age, but I thought I'd like watch you play this, and it's like, go play Dragon Age, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like,
crazy?
that's crazy. Like, if you put me on or something in the background while you're playing Dragon Age, while you're doing like busy work, like if I'm gonna do a big story moment, no, but if I'm just grinding,
We're
then like,
background
yeah,
content.
sure, I'll put something on.
Okay, there's this one other thing that I want to bring up that
Okay.
makes me feel like a horrible human being. but
Ben's
I
final
think-
thought. Here it
I
is.
think a lot of other people feel this way. Sometimes I get home, and this just sounds awful, but I'm like, I don't want to get up to put the disc in, and I'll just put on Twitch and just watch. Even if it's not that interesting, I'll just veg on the couch and watch because I'm
That's
like,
why
I
you
can't.
gotta download your game.
I can't get up. I don't know where the remote is, and I just do it. And that makes me such a despicable human being. But I think that's why Twitch works.
I'm sure they'd be glad to hear that.
Convenience wins every time.
Okay, let's play yes or no and why. This is the game where I ask you a question, you respond yes or no, and then tell me why very quickly.
Games are stupid.
No, that's not
How'd you
the.
come up with this one?
This was last week. Last
okay.
week.
Oh, jury duty. I
I like games.
missed everything.
Nintendo patched Smash Bros. On 3DS this week. They nerfed, mostly nerfs, some glitches, some like straight up nerfs. Like Luma's gonna take longer to respawn. Is this cool? Yes or no, and why? Brandon Jones,
Yes.
why?
Because it means they're involved and they're not going to just sit and watch the game not be balanced. You may not like the balance, I can't speak to that, but it's nice that the game is being supported and they came up with the patch so quick.
Ben, yes or no, and why?
I'm going to slightly lean towards no, because great that they patched it. I think it's very stupid that they didn't tell people what they changed.
I should have added that. It was like, hey, we made changes. They did not specify any of the changes.
That's dumb.
It was up to like the community to figure it out.
That's dumb.
Ian, yes or no,
Yeah,
and why?
that's
Is that
what
cool?
I was gonna say like a neutral, but that
You can't
makes-
say neutral.
That maybe then.
No, yeah, I can't.
All right.
accept
Well,
that
then I was
answer.
gonna say no, but with a qualification in my why of nerfs are almost never cool, but balancing is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool is the thing I was hung up on.
Yeah,
But anyway,
Nerf's
if they
plural
didn't
is not
tell
cool.
You,
Nerf is cool.
If they didn't tell you what the changes were, like you can't do a change without making a change log.
Yeah,
that's
they did
not cool.
The,
No,
the
not-
change log was like various fixes of things.
Yeah,
Like, no, you got to
You can't make
specify.
balance fixes in a fighting game and expect to be considered a serious actual fighting game.
Yeah,
If you don't tell people what the fixes are.
To be fair, Nintendo very new at this.
Yeah.
Has never done balance patches before. That was probably so weird to some guy. Like, what are we doing to our game? What are we doing this for?
Our game
so
wasn't
messed up.
perfect.
Yeah.
Put it out.
So messed up.
We're Nintendo.
Well, we're new at this.
Like they've been doing it. Like that's what. What's his? I'm blanking on his name right now. Nintendo guy.
Reggie Fils-Aimé?
No, the other one.
Bill Trennan.
The Japanese.
Satoru Iwata?
Yeah, I think it was him. He said. Was it him who said? Was it he who said? video game companies keep doing the same thing over and over and over
Shigeru
again.
Miyamoto.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
We
And I was like, what? Nintendo's been putting out a Mario game over and over for 20 years.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You literally do. Your entire catalog is the same thing over and over and over.
Crosses his arms, smiling, believing the words he's saying.
Yeah, and then he says, "New Pink Pikmin is going to be
Oh my
this,
gosh.
Pikmin 3 or whatever."
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, who are you?
Don't get me started on Miyamoto. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Game Awards.
Wait, is that the last yes, no, maybe? I like that. We took too long.
We'll do it one. We'll do one a week. Maybe we'll do more. That
You
is a
gotta
fun
do, like-
game.
You got to make them even faster and do like 10 of them.
Okay.
And the maybe has to be like 10 seconds or less.
Here we go. We'll do it. We'll do it for the Game Award nominees.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Are
Here's
we
game
allowed
of
to
the.
talk about these out loud?
Are we? Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
We should mention though. We should absolutely mention that
'Cause-
Brandon is one of the judges. Woo!
Because hang on a second, this is going to preempt the bonus round where they reveal these.
No, they revealed it earlier this morning.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
All right then.
Something wrong happened with bonus round then.
No. We shot it.
Oh,
so.
okay. Brandon, what's it like to be a judge? Very quickly.
It's super easy. You just send some emails.
No, what does it feel like? You're a judge, man. You're a judge.
Whatever. No, it's super cool. It's amazing. It's incredible how many people have come out that are involved in the Game Awards in such a short time.
Yeah.
He was very Rockstar Games about the whole thing, of just kind of like announcing it, and it's coming in a month. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
pretty
just kind of
surprised.
popped up. Like at the beginning of this year, I did not know that this was happening. So, and I assuredly prepared as much as I possibly could have for this. I obviously haven't played every single game that came out this year, but I have consulted lots of people who've played other games to kind of measure what's what. And it's an interesting. We haven't really gotten into our Game of the Year awards deliberation, so
Yeah.
it's interesting to see
That'll be
what games were
fun.
nominated.
We need to film
huge
those.
breath from Ben Moore on that one.
I'm so worried.
We got to film that for
We need
sure.
Yeah,
to film
bloodbath.
those and put those out.
So I think their Game of the Year nominees are interesting. Here's
Yeah.
what is nominated for a Game of the Year award. The Game Award, Game of the Year award.
Game Award, Game of the Year.
Okay, yeah, we guess we can say that. Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2,
Yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition,
Yeah.
Hearthstone,
Yeah.
and Shadow of Mordor.
No.
Yes.
By the way, they just say Shadow of Mordor. The formatting makes me angry. I'm getting in a little anal Kyle for a moment. Capitalized of in the title Shadow of Mordor and left out Middle Earth.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say
like-
that's not even the name of the game.
That's not even the name of the game. They put a hyphen in Wii U. It's like, hey, come on.
Some fake games getting nominated.
Step it up, Keeley. Yeah, you guys haven't played Shadow of Mordor? It's different from Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
So, does that seem pretty cool? Does that seem pretty
All
good?
these guys are going to Best Buy. They're going straight to the S section, and they're like, I don't see it.
These poor guys.
I went all the way
The
to
obsession at Best Buy is this big now.
I
So.
went all the way to Best Buy and I just went searched the S section for hours. Couldn't find it.
Excuse me, you have Shadow of Mordor? Nah, man, we don't have that.
Did you check the S section?
Do we like those top 5? Yes or no, and why?
I need to play Dragon Age. Surprised that lots of people have been saying lots of negative things about a lot of the games I loved this year, just because like a lot of people got really buggy versions of them or experienced a lot of issues that I didn't have. But excited to get into that. Hearthstone's always been the dark horse.
You're playing this game wrong. Yes or no, and why?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm happy with them.
Okay.
All right. Forgot we were playing the game.
And now you can do why.
I was thinking about other games. Now we're thinking about this game.
Yeah, now you can do why.
Because they're all really great games. And this, I think this was like an 8.5 year. Like every now and then we got random games that just popped up, but like all those games on there, like averaged about in the 8 range. As far as I think Bayonetta 2 is probably like the contender.
Yeah, before we continue, I should note, none of these are annual sequels. None of these are your Call of Duties or your Assassin's Creeds. Each of these are at least a rare sequel or not a sequel at all, which is pretty cool. Ben, you like this? Yes or no, and why?
Yes, and I feel like such a shill for saying this. If you were to say, are there 5 games there?
Yeah, those are 5 games.
If you were to say, what are your top 5 picks for Game of the Year, it would be exactly that list.
What about Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, man?
I really like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, but yeah, that would be my list.
That's a good
And
list then.
That's super boring of me, but
That's
yeah.
not boring. That I think legitimizes it in a weird way.
Yeah.
Ian, do you like this list? Yes or no, and why?
Yeah, the list is fine. So yes.
But you have a distaste for Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, I honestly think, like, I'm sure it's a good game. I really think it's one of those things where sometimes, like, that kind of combat, that combat system, just is not what I like.
What kind of combat system is it?
I played Shadow of Mordor for an hour, maybe hour and a half.
Oh, so you gave it a fair shake.
I gave it not a fair enough shake, probably, because it has a lot of deep systems that I hadn't even played yet.
And
but,
don't come in until late in the game
yeah,
too.
but
sometimes.
I just couldn't, like, I mashed triangle and killed every single person I came up against. Every single one.
So Ian, give
And
me.
I fought, like, hard guys that seemed like I was supposed to die. I just hit square and killed all of them.
Ian, give me a no then. Give me a no because Shadow of Mordor is on
I mean,
there.
I was pretty shocked when they said that Shadow of Mordor was, like, when we were shooting bonus round, I was like, okay. But I mean, for me, in my life experience, you can't be me and not experience things like that where a game that I outright hated wins Game of the Year, because I hated Last of Us. I hated GTA 5 because they're not my style of, they're not my thing.
Yeah.
And like, I have my reasons that people would disagree with me on, but like, it's just how it shakes out. So like, I can't really fault the list for having a game that I didn't like on it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they put Hearthstone on that list. I think I don't even know if it's a gutsy move, because to me, and I think to Ben, Hearthstone is far and away one of the most important games to come out this year, and really one of the best designed games to come out this year. It's so solid and so good and really balanced. And like, it's just a super quality game. Who knows if it'll win? That would be shocking. But like, yeah, Dark Souls 2 is rock solid. Obviously, it won't win. Dragon Age is probably gonna win. I think Bayonetta, Mordor, and Dragon Age are the three on there that are probably contenders. Dragon Age, I was shocked last night or 2 nights ago. I was playing it and I looked at my save and it said 1052. And I was like, oh, is it 10:52? And I was like, oh, it's 10:35. I'm like, I've been playing this game for 11 hours?
Cool.
I had no idea that I've
Yeah,
been playing it for
that's
so
a sign
long.
of a good
Like,
game.
it blew my mind. And I'm playing it on the PS4, so it's buggy as hell. Like, the game is actually frozen on me a couple of times, and there's one quest I just can't turn in. So, like, it's a broken game. And usually, like, in the case of Skyrim or something, like, usually I'm like, if you release a broken game, you can't be considered a good or finished game. But Dragon Age works properly on the other systems, I think, from what I can tell.
I had some problems with the Xbox One version.
Oh, really? Okay. I've heard the PS4 version is the buggiest, which is a refreshing change of pace, because usually the PS4 version is the best.
A little inside baseball. We got
Okay.
so Daniel Bloodworth long ago said, Ben Moore, which review copy of Dragon Age Inquisition would you like? And I said the PS4 version. And
Why?
he sent us, because the computer that I'm using at home, I was worried would not run Dragon Age Inquisition very well. That was the platform I would prefer to play it on.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into a case where I get a game and can't really play it.
Especially for review.
Yeah, and then I'm
Really,
wasting time.
GT should buy us all gaming PCs for our homes.
They're coming.
Okay, that's good.
And so I requested the PS4 version, and it's one of those things where I'm like, they said it was 900p on Xbox One and 1080p on PS4.
Yeah,
so I got it on PS4.
Yeah.
And a day later, they come out and they're like, hey, people are getting corrupt saves where they'll play for 10 hours and you'll just lose everything. And I got really paranoid, because 10 hours during a review
Yeah.
is a lot of wasted time.
It's because of 2.0. It was because a patch came out
Right.
on PS4.
That
Right.
screwed up everything.
yeah.
It did.
It lost my Call of Duty save, and I was like,
I didn't get to
It
play
was-
Evolve on the PS4.
Never
yeah,
coming back.
I couldn't get mad about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got the Xbox One version, and it's so weird how sometimes the versions that we review and why I don't always think that's communicated the best. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what.
Well,
happened.
because then I have the PS4 version from the office that we got later, I guess, right? And I was asking you, I was like, because
no, that's the one we originally got. But
Oh, it was?
doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. You just didn't play it because of the corrupted saves, right? So I'm playing that version, and I have like 10 different saves. I'm like shuffling them through just in case. But like I used to do with Tomb Raider, I learned that lesson the hard way with Tomb Raider 1. I was at the end of the game and my save was corrupted, and I was like, never again will I only have one save in a game. But yeah, and I texted him and I was like, were the cutscenes really choppy for you? And apparently they weren't that bad. Like, people walking was like sometimes in the cutscenes and stuff. And like, it was forgivable, I think, because just the scale of this game is ludicrous.
But it's hard to
like-
give Game of the Year to this.
No, right, exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like that's why I think probably Bayonetta 2 would be. Well, I
everyone's-
would say Dark Souls 2.
In
but I
Bayonetta
think
2,
other
everyone's
people
frozen
would
in
say-
cutscenes.
It,
I'm just
Was
joking.
she? Oh.
No, they do that though, and the cutscenes are so weird in that game.
Oh, yeah,
but they're not
for
important to
intentional,
Bayonetta 2, and which is a weird thing. But they are kind of more important to Dragon Age because it's weird.
I mean, obviously, Dark Souls 2 is.
the winner,
I,
Hearthstone.
Oh, Talos Principle is pretty good.
Actually, can I inject an opinion? Here comes an
absolutely.
opinion straight from Kyle's mouth.
I don't understand why you have this adherence to the moderator can't.
It's because I'm in the Keeley chair. I'm in Keeley's big fancy
He
chair.
says his opinions. You can join the conversation.
He does, actually. So, I think VGAs kind of had a stink of advertisers on them for a long time.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think what's really encouraging about this top 5 is some of these are not heavily advertised games, like Hearthstone, like Bayonetta 2. And so it seems much less like this is based off of appeasing advertisers, and which is pretty cool to see in a
In
top
what
5.
universe is Hearthstone not heavily advertised?
Yeah, every
Where? Where do you see it
website
advertised?
go to.
Every
If you've
website
ever-
on the
if you've
internet.
ever done anything on the internet involving
Oh,
Hearthstone,
okay.
every website has a Hearthstone ad.
So no TV ads for Hearthstone.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like it's not one of those type of huge advertising
I don't know
campaigns.
if anyone in this
maybe
room watches
maybe it
TV.
feels unfair to say this, but it felt like during the VGAs, it was nearly impossible for a Nintendo game to be nominated for Game of the Year.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it just didn't happen.
They talk about that in bonus round.
I'm sure Reggie
Week
is
2.
like dancing.
Can I do a quick diversion because I'm so curious, and if the answer is no, I totally understand.
Absolutely.
Ian made me think of this. What
Sorry.
is the most devastating corrupt save or save issue that you've had with a video game?
Oh, you know what? And
Oh.
I should clarify my Call of Duty one too. It didn't lose my progress. It lost everything I did. So I lost all my cool exosuit upgrades, but it remembered where I was, and it didn't remember that I beat the levels, but it remembered where I was. Didn't give me any trophies for beating the game. That was how corrupted it was. My worst corrupted save file of all time.
Just gutted you.
That gutted me. Well, this is a little different because it wasn't corrupted. Oh man.
It counts. If it was like a nasty brother or something.
It was, I had my 3DS stolen. Not robbed. Robbed is very different. Stolen.
Oh no.
And that had 10 years of Pokemon on it.
Oh no.
They're gone. You know, Pokemon from high school, just gone.
So
That
it's good
was
about the
rough.
cloud now. You can put your Pokemon in
Yeah.
the cloud.
I don't want to talk about that. That's a whole other thing. Hate that.
For me, the Tomb Raider thing was pretty bad. One that I think it happened to me on some Final Fantasy game too, like one of the longer ones. Might have been 7 or 8. That was pretty devastating. But one that was just really funny and completely my fault. Well, sort of the programmer's fault too because they should have made this not possible to do. But in Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura, amazing game by the way. It's like a top-down like Fallout 1 or 2 style game. But I died in town because something killed me, and I was just laying in the street, and there were people walking around, and then I went to load my game, but I hit save instead. So it allowed me to save with my main character dead. So then I could load my game
As the dead man.
and just watch people walk around my corpse.
What a strange game.
And I was just like, oh man, this is. And I was really far into the game. It's like a really complex RPG. You
Yeah.
know? Oh man.
That's it. That's it. That's where you end it. That's
I
where you.
was-
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was 12 years old, and Phantasy Star Online
So
is
it was
one of them.
2005.
Phantasy Star Online was one of the most important games in my life. Like it had such a huge impact on me because it was the first sort of big MMO game.
Are you on Dreamcast?
A Dreamcast.
'Kay.
It was the first time I'd ever plugged the internet into a console, and it was just magical. I was every time I plugged it into the phone jack, I was just blown
It's a good
away.
feeling.
And I met people on there, and I had a little blue spiky-haired ranger named Gohan, and it meant so much to me. And I think I put 500 hours into that game, and I reached the max level. And it's Christmas break, and the first day of Christmas break, I go and I turn it on, and Gohan just isn't there, and I don't know what's going on. I have no answers. I try to call Sega
don't know
technical.
what's
I try to call
Gohan?
Sega technical support, and they don't know what's wrong. And I have to get in the car. We have to go somewhere, and I'm with my mom, and I'm not talking. I'm very grim, and she says, "Is something wrong?" And I just lose it. This breakdown. That was like the most traumatic gaming
It's like the
experience.
Well, what
true,
happened to
the true
Gohan?
test of a mother. It's
happened to
like
Gohan?
understanding.
He just wasn't there. He was gone.
Did you call them and say, where's Gohan?
Yeah, and they said,
Where's
well,
Gohan?
because you had to. At that point, there was Phantasy Star Online version 2 out, and you had to pay monthly for it. It actually had a subscription, and they said, we'll give you a free month of time. And I was like, that's not gonna cut it, Sega. It's not gonna do it.
That's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
Learned a lot of hard
R.A.P.
lessons.
Gohan. What you got, Brandon?
Sometimes people go
My
away.
bald-headed female hybrid in GTA Online. I'm level 74 in GTA Online right now. I'd probably be 100 if I had kept that save.
Yeah.
Because that sucked, losing that. But one of the things that I had similar to you was the game that I would still love to go back, actually, it'd be a good stream game, I'd love to go back and like try to finish, was 13, which came out for the PS2 and Xbox, where you're a Secret Service agent who got blamed for killing the president. And it was a cell-shaded first-person shooter.
Yeah, I remember that game.
And there's a mission, there were multiple saves, but I didn't do multiple saves. I just saved on that top slot every time. And I saved right when I started a mission, and I was on a submarine, and this was like 85% of the way through the game, and I couldn't fire a gun or I would instantly fail the mission. And I could only use crossbow bolts, and there were no crossbow bolts on the mission. Game over. It's like,
Did you
there's
go
nothing I
back
did.
through? Did you go back and
There's no
replay the
going
game?
back. I'm in a submarine.
I mean, did you
I've
start a new
saved-
game?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think most of the times you're just like, no new game.
But I'll always remember that because like that's never happened to me in any other game where it's
Yeah.
like that wasn't a glitch. That was literally or it
Yeah.
wasn't something vanished or it was there and then it wasn't. That was just like
That happened to me in
they just
Silent
didn't
Hill
count
1.
for.
Silent Hill 1, I was at the final boss, and the version of the final boss, which I think was probably the worst one you could get, but the one I had, you could only kill with ranged weapons, and I could live forever against the boss. I figured out the patterns, and I could survive, but there was no way to damage her without shooting her, and I didn't have any bullets. I was like, why would you do this?
So you restarted though. I bet you've beaten
Yeah,
that game at this point. Man.
It was like that stupid game Dark Souls where I started the game, hit the square button assuming it was attack, and used my only health potion.
You get those
Rest in
back?
fire, you get it back every
You get it
5
back?
seconds.
You get those back?
Where's the table? I need to flip something.
That's unfortunately, that is the episode. We talked a lot. I'm sorry everybody who submitted.
Have you met Ben?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're watching me to
That's
burger
fine.
sometimes.
We'll cover the. Well, you're the one who started that conversation. We'll do that next week.
Let's do it
You're the
real
one
fast.
that started it.
Do it real fast. We'll do it in 40 seconds.
I'm gonna leave feeling bad.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. So let's do this in 40 seconds. Here we go. Here's a question from Alexander Zirnanov. Usually, only the first release of the game can be nominated for Game of the Year award. No matter how better HD Remake looks and plays, or how much more content or an all DLC bundle it is not qualified because it's still the same game. Does this mean that only Super Smash Bros. For 3DS can be nominated for Game of the Year award, but not Super Smash Bros. For Wii U?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
That is an interesting question.
It's like, because this is a conversation we have a lot in the office, actually, is like what to review, what's nominatable, like in terms of like
I think
remakes.
in this case, we've all sort of previously agreed that this Super Smash Bros. Is a 3DS game, and they ported it up
Oh my gosh.
to the Wii U. You agreed to that once 4 months ago.
Cynically, yes, but I mean, there's
You're a cynical man.
clearly enough in Wii U that makes it a separate game, but man.
I
Is
think
the
there's
title different?
Title is only different with 4 3DS and 4 Wii U. Is at the
Is
end
it
of
in the title?
Yes.
I would like to throw out a major difference
Okay.
between everything that we've played this year and those two games. Those two games were announced at the same time. The first trailer we got was both of those games. They were like, here, look at these two different games we're making.
Okay.
We're GTA 5, we got GTA 5. And then a year later, they announced and released a separate version. Last of Us we got, and then a year later, they announced and released a separate version.
Right.
Brandon, that is precisely the succinct answer we needed. You did it. Within 40 seconds. Okay, so let's do our closing bet. Here we go. Smash Bros. For Wii U releases next week. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. If I'm going to call out Game of the Year awards for not being particular, I should. Popular Smash Bros. Forum Smashboards currently has 162,118 members. How many members will it have at this point next week?
Say the number again.
162,118. Brandon, I think it's your pick, first or last?
I'll just go straight 200. 200K.
200,000. Okay. You think they're going to pick up 40,000 out of interest?
Yeah.
People, they probably forgot their old usernames. They need new usernames.
Or just not having a need to have signed up for it in the first place.
I'll go 170. I'm gonna go not a huge spike. Ian, you're betting for Damiani.
I was gonna say 172, but no, I'm gonna say 178,000.
Okay.
7.8.
And Ben, you're betting for Bloodworth.
$173,000.
Okay.
Threading the needle.
I like these a lot. Let me lock those in. Okay. And then we got to talk about last week's bet. This was a fun one. I love doing these. Looked at the 10 most recent reviews for Little Big Planet 3 on Game Rankings, and I was searching for the word floaty.
That's a good one.
I'm curious, actually, real quick, Ian and Ben, what do you think? How many floaties do you think out of 10 reviews
Is there a
did I
character
find?
named Floaty, or is it just floaty controls?
Floaty. You
Are
hear the word
counting
floaty
repeated
jumps.
floaties in the review?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a weird
So-
sound.
Yep.
Yeah. How many floaties?
Individual instances of the word floaty.
Yeah, real quick. How many think? How many think? Don't think about this. Just
2.
give me a number. Ben, what would you have assumed?
6.
Okay. Wow, that's weird. That's eerie. So there are 7. There were 7 floaties. There were 2 in the Destructoid review. 7 instances of the word floaty in Little Big Planet reviews.
Bet
Have bad
0,
controls.
right?
Yeah. And Bloodworth bet 6, like Ben. That
Whoa.
was the winning bet.
Eerie.
So Ben, you really earned it, actually. Ben, what you've earned, I should reiterate the points. Brendan and I are the 6 brothers.
Nice.
Damiani has 9, and Bloodworth now has 12. So
wow.
Ben, your prize is you get to pitch any video you want.
Got it.
Preferably on GameTrailers.com. And then say our goodbyes. Say like Twitter names and goodbyes.
You and I
all
are both half the men that Bloodworth is.
that.
Um,
Yeah, true.
So Huber and I recently went to BlizzCon. We did a BlizzCon 2014 sort of on the floor reactions as they were happening. Super fun video. I think it turned out really well. I hope people watch it.
What's the name of it so people can find that?
It's BlizzCon 2014, and I believe Huber Hype is in there somewhere.
What you
Could
do
be
is you
wrong
go
with
to
that.
Google.
Can I Google
Game
Huber
Trailers
Hype?
BlizzCon 2014, and
Yeah.
it'll show up on our website.
That's honestly the easiest way.
That's the easiest
Let's
way
be
to do it.
honest.
Searching
Let's be
on our
real.
website
That's the easiest
doesn't
way to do
work.
it.
Just you use Google always. Okay. Cool. Wait, what did you like about doing that video?
Huber was the perfect co-host with it, so I'm really excited about Blizzard games, and he's really excited about Blizzard games, and I've never done coverage where I felt like I was just happy the whole time. Like I never got like serious, like okay, it's time to work. It was like no, we're just having fun, and I think that really comes through.
That's
Were
cool.
you a little drunk at the end?
No, I didn't have anything to drink. I was
Somebody told me they thought you were drunk at the end of the video.
That was that enthusiasm.
I did get-
drunk on happiness.
Do you ever have those moments where you are still really excited and having a good time, but you're so tired that you're kind of acting delirious?
Almost constantly.
Yeah, that's what it was. I
They're
think.
followed by a very emotional crash right after.
Is that where we're at right now?
Huh?
You started this happy, and now
I'm
I feel
still
like
happy.
we're at the emotional
No, I'm
crash
good.
phase. Okay.
I'm having a good day. God knows why. I've got no reason.
And go ahead and sign us off, Ben.
What do I say?
Just our Twitter names, and thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week.
And then do the secret handshake.
Okay, so you're at Kyle Bossman.
Well, you don't have to actually do that.
Okay.
yeah.
But
Just
if
go
you
like
can,
this, go here.
I'm curious if you can do it.
Pressure.
I'm curious if you can do it. What is Brandon?
Game Trailers VO.
What is Ian?
At Ian Hink.
And what are you?
At BenMore035.
Nice. All right. Good job.
Yeah. Thanks
it.
everybody for watching. I'm so happy that I got to be on. Brandon, I'm sorry I talked so much. And that's it.
For listeners, we had a lot of knee touching just now.
Touching.
Feel all over this room.
Good game and good night.
You can't steal my shit.
He totally stole it.
It's good games. That's okay.
Nothing in the mug this week.
Nothing in the mud this week.